Hear me clearly. America is not a racist country.
We need to address, well, first of all, no, I don't think America is a racist country.
So, I just wanted to just state that more than likely this video and many others will be demonetized. So just in case, anything drastic tends to happen with YouTube or anything like that, if you actually like the content, please support the content, at your leisure. Donation, 50 cents, $1, anything will do. But anyways, let's get to the show.
Rage is growing over this racially charged video taken by a Macaulay student. Local 3 News is choosing not to show the student's name or face since it's likely the student is a minor. The videos posted to popular social media app Snapchat include multiple racial slurs and comments that could be perceived as threats.
Before you see the end of this wit, boy.
A spokesperson for the school says they are actively investigating other students who could be involved. A spokesperson did say disciplinary action has been taken, including expulsion, and that more action could come.
Boy, I'll show you what my ancestors did to your kind. I'll burn you on a mother cross and disgrace to your kind, boy.
It's not clear if the videos were directed at any specific student or person. The video does include a second student who Local 3 News is also not identifying. This parent, who originally posted the video on social media, wrote, "Now this is what y'all Macaulay parents need to be discussing and running to social media with."
Or the young men felt that it was acceptable to say what they said. So that tells me this is not the first time.
Those young men are 2 Macaulay school students who posted a video filled with profanity and racially offensive comments. The videos made references to whips and crosses, raising images of the horrors of slavery and Jim Crow. Chattanooga NAACP President Ann Pierre says the video was deeply offensive.
We're not any of those things. We are people that God made and put on this earth to reside with the other people.
A Macaulay school spokesperson says the 2 students seen in the video are no longer enrolled at the school. The spokesperson would not clarify if they were expelled and would not share if any other students were disciplined.
But what about the punishment for the other individuals who knew it occurred, did not say anything about it, and one brave person sent the information out because it was offensive to them?
In a letter written to parents by head of school Lee Burns, he said, "What was said on that video saddens and angers me in many ways, most especially for our Black students. I am sorry for the pain and hurt it caused. There is no place at Macaulay for making comments that demean an individual based on race, religion, country, sexual orientation, ethnicity, or any other identity marker."
2 students from a boarding school in Tennessee were caught hurling racial abuses and threatening to burn Black people on a cross in a video posted on their Snapchat accounts. Post the outrage, McCallie School had confirmed that the students were no longer enrolled with them. The clip that was initially shared by the boys on Snapchat has surfaced on multiple social media platforms, including Twitter. The racist statements in the video include the students saying, "You're gonna be on your knees calling me master before you know it, boy, and watch your step, boy. I'll show you what my ancestors did to your kind." After the video went viral, Lee Burns, head of McCallie School, expressed his disappointment in a letter written to the parents on Monday. "What was said on that video saddens and angers me in many ways, most especially for our Black students. Said, I am sorry for the pain and hurt it caused. There is no place at McCallie for making comments that demean an individual based on race, religion, country, sexual orientation, ethnicity, or any other identity marker." Following the outrage, the boarding school authorities confirmed that the students were no longer part of the school. In a statement on Twitter, the school wrote that it had been made aware of a video containing racist comments. "Racism of any form is not tolerated at McCallie and violates our community standards." The tweet said the matter was promptly investigated. The school immediately enacted disciplinary measures, including expulsion. However, it was not specified if student who recorded the video or a second who appeared in it was expelled. Rev. Ann Pierre, the president of the Chattanooga-Hamilton County branch of the NAACP, said that the young men felt that it was acceptable to say what they said. "So that tells me that this is not the first time. What about the punishment for the other individuals who knew it occurred, did not say anything about it?" Pierre said, and one brave soul sent that information out because it was offensive to them, stating that the situation could be used as a learning moment, used to teach students about the power of words and the importance of Black history. Pierre said, "They might argue with me and say that they're doing that, but their product says that they're not doing that." So this is yet again what it looks like. when black people tend to send their kids to all white schools. This is something that I've talked about continuously for quite some time. And yet again, 2023, here we are, where we have black students having to deal with racism in the same country that people want to state that racism doesn't exist. This type of thing doesn't happen. It's just black people just trying to be victims. They're just making up stories. But yet here we are. And then on top of that, you have video showing one, if not two, if not more, of their kids, their true American kids, European descendants, pagans, deciding that they want to partake specifically in these actions in order to make what the black students feel what are they supposed to feel, right? Because they're supposed to be just American, right? Right? I could swear from a lot of the black conservatives and all these other individuals out here, right? They always say, "Oh, blacks." Realistically, if we're to talk about race, you know, the black community is actually the most racist community out here. It's not the whites, not the whites, not the whites. It's not Caucasian people. I've never had, racism happen to me by way of Caucasian people. It's always, been black people. It's always been black people, right? This is what they like to say on the social media platforms. This is what they want to say in front of other crowds, especially white people, that they've always had the utmost happen to them by way of just strictly black people and nobody else. And that everybody else has just been the most utmost kindest and welcoming us. They've given them the shirt off their back. They picked them up off the street, all this other type of stuff. But I need them, right? All of those conservatives, I need them to explain this. Explain to these kids that they're just American. Explain to these kids that they're not a race, they're not a social construct, that they're not a branding, that they're not some type of a color. Explain that to them when it is that their classmates who are quote unquote American are telling them the exact same things that you're telling them that they're not. How does that how's that message going to go through? And I would love to sit up there and hear what these black conservatives are going to say. It's like, oh well, little Johnny, what you're saying is completely, wrong. He's an American. He's not a color. I'm not a color. I don't see color. I don't see you as a color. We're American. We both bleed the same. Go to the same schools. We can both afford the same educations. Walk the same streets. Go to the same movie theaters. We're all Americans, right? All Americans. And like I said, you never see instances of any of them using a platform to talk to like any of these kids. And I'm talking about like not some like pre-scripted, written, type of instance. I'm talking about an actual live, unscripted, unregulated, whatever you want to call it, type of conversation where literally anything could happen and can be said. You're not going to say, you're not going to see it. Because the main thing that people got to understand is that a lot of their perspectives, it's about controlling a certain narrative and making sure that that narrative is ever so true, right? So they're going to showcase their life. Hey, I was around white people, nothing ever happened to me, but the moment in time I got around black people, oh, that's when I saw racism. Right? So they make sure to shelter. They don't want to specifically talk about how it is that their family might have been treated when they came over here. How it is that they were referred to and talked about and all of those great things. Right? Like I said, it's to me it's just it's very interesting that whenever these instances show up and a lot of these black conservatives could actually have the mouth and the voice to sit up there and talk, they don't say nothing. Or If they do, they'll say, "Oh well, this is just a variable. It's bad that it happened, but it's not representative. It's not representative of the whole." I have white friends. I have white family members. I have white coworkers. I got white people that work with me and work for me now, and they're not racist. Yeah, I tell you, it's man, the length that some people will actually go just to try to make it seem like something is not existing. That something just it just doesn't happen anymore. It's crazy. And I just want to bring this up. This one last thing. Notice how none of these black conservatives will ever bring up a panel, have like a true panel of some of the oldest of our generation who have their faculties together that could tell you story after story after story after story after story after story, history about racism. Notice how you don't see them talking to people who, and some of them have had platforms for a very long time. Notice how they've never brought up somebody who has actually went through slavery. We have elders. Some might still be here. I know if this was probably about like 10 years back, you could easily find quite a lot of elders that were been through or that were literally born directly after, and they can tell you stories about slavery and the effects and everything like that. Notice how they don't want to talk about that history. They don't want to talk about those people because their narrative breaks, because they can't shut that down. Well, that it's sorry that happened to you. Well, we're in a whole different time now. So, are you still focused? On racism? Is the white man still racist to you? Are these laws still holding you back? They're not. They can't do it. They can't. They can't do it because history breaks anything that they're going to say. They are walking history. Whatever that you have to say or that you want to say is not going to trump living history.